It's not often when the action of an event lives up to the hype. The anticipation for the season opener of the series we bring you tonight was all about the return of a past champion to face the new champion. The old sheriff returns to meet the new sheriff in town. With the results of that first round now in the books and the on track action, well, let me tell you, nobody thought that it disappointed, proving both gunslingers were as quick on the draw as ever. Billed as Godzilla versus Mothra. When the dust settled, Godzilla's return did not chase Mothra from Japan, but only set the stage for more battles ahead. At Iowa, three-time and defending champ Eric Teapot Stout led all but 5 laps on the way to the opening round win. And the other 5 laps were led, well, by who else? Four-time title holder and the driver making his return, Dalton Williamson. And now they are both set to do it again. But it is far from a one-on-one match race, for the field will be chocked full of worthy competitors, and a stolen spotlight would not be an unexpected crime. So pull the lever on the lazy boy and settle in for the excitement of simulated SK modifieds on a short track, streaming cyberspace into your place, sanctioned by the Red Light Racing Elite from Langley Speedway. It's the Virtual Grip Network's second round coverage of the Scritter Creek Modified Series Season 15. A warm Old Dominion hello and welcome on this Thursday, January 29th, 2026. The institution, J.R. Shepard, joins yours truly, Bill Soups on, high up in the VGM press box to bring you our words eye view. Turning the knobs, pushing the sliders, well, it's the boss man, Lowell Jewell. JR, the opening round was Tour Mods at Iowa. Tonight is SK Modifieds at Langley. For the novice viewer, is there much difference?
Oh, it's going to be completely different, Soup. So that'd be the NASCAR equivalent last week going to, say, a Michigan International Speedway, where you have a lot of speed, a lot of drafting, aero comes into play, but tonight will be closer to, say, a Richmond. That is what Langley's going to be like. It's a short track, only 4/10 of a mile in length. The turns, they're only banked at 6 degrees, creating a very tough surface to get around for these drivers. And the banking, it actually feels like it's opposite from the direction you're going when you're in the corners from inside that cockpit. That's what you're going to see from on board tonight. And I'm afraid for those drivers as they're qualifying right now, if you did not get a good lap in, it is going to be a long race for you because this place is tough to drive in general, but it's even tougher to set up and make passes. So, Soup, track position will be at a premium tonight, but we might see some strategy come into play if we get a timely caution because this race, it is 150 laps, a little bit longer than what we did last season. So, fresh rubber on the car will help you maneuver through traffic.
It's going to be very, very interesting indeed. That extra 50 laps, that really throws a monkey wrench into the plans of a lot of these guys. Qualifying going on right now, and qualifying going to be ever so important. A.J. Hamill, the fastest right now, with Dalton Williamson behind him. Now, we saw Eric Stout having trouble in practice, and JR, you wondered if he was having trouble or just fooling around. I think he's struggling because he's wailed down the order right now.
He is. I'm kind of watching qualifying from a couple of these drivers, and I did see Stout have some issues on his out lap trying to get up to speed. So this setup, it is a little tricky, especially on cold tires. Now the thing handles, it rotates, but that's the problem on cold tires. It rotates a little too much. I think some of these drivers are really struggling. I'm not seeing a whole lot of lap times up on the board right now.
Our spotlighted driver, we like to focus on one of those every week. And let's see who it is. It's Rex Hoyle. Now, Rex Hoyle holds the record here for the fastest lap in an SK modified. He did it at 14.48. That was a while ago. Simon and Poindexter, the two stat boys back in the smoke-filled rooms in those Vegas casinos, has set the line at 7.5. JR, bet the under if you think he'll do 7 or better. Bet the over for eighth or worse.
I honestly think it'll be close, but I'm going to go with the over on this. I know that he has been very good at some of these oddball races that we do, especially on the short tracks. But like I said, this is a very tough place. We've got a lot of cars here tonight, so I'm going to go with the over.
And he did not have a great qualifying round either, as he's well down the order. Checking, are we ready to go to grid yet, or is qualifying still going on? Nope. Oh, we can go to the grid. All right. With that said, let's run them down. We'll take it a row at a time. Starting on the front row with a time put in there at 15 flat, it's AJ Hamill. He's going to be flanked by the returning four-time champion, Dalton Williamson.
Rolling off inside of row 2, we got Jeff Lemire and Hayden Austin on the outside.
Higgins has a lot of experience in an SK Modified here. This is his 8th start at this track in one of those cars. He'll be starting in 5th with Bill Eggs Benedict outside of him.
Rolling off in 7th place, one of the championship contenders we expect this year, Ethan Troutman, and on the outside, Luke Logan Allen.
Contrary to what was mentioned in the opening, Andy Lewis did lead a couple laps in the season opener. Hey, welcome back, Brian Bianchi. He'll be in 10th.
Rolling off inside row 6, we got Brian Neff in that 60 car. On the outside in 12th, Bradley Steffen.
In the Baker's dozen spot, it's always there, Fred Leclerc, with, well, your point leader, 3-time and defending champion, Eric Teapot Stout, buried in 14th.
Inside row 8, we got Ken Allen in that 49 car. And on the outside in 16th place, a driver that we talked about earlier to watch, Rex Hoyle.
Nobody has more experience in an SK Modified here at Langley than Granny Hips Josh Buckley. He'll be starting as 17th, making his 9th career start. Devin Vishna will be flanking him.
Rolling off in 19th place tonight, we got Jeff Aho. That's a little deeper in the field than what we're used to seeing him qualify. And on the outside in 20th place, Chris Oliver.
Hidden Blackjack, it's Kevin Alicia with Chad Alcaraz in the double duck spot.
Rolling off in row number 12 tonight, we've got Chris Hazlett driving that 93 car, and on the outside in 24th place, Ricardo Cano.
Then you got guys who did not put in any qualifying time. Lewis Wildflowers, Double Deuce Bruce Pearson, and Patrick Stout, little brother of Eric. They'll be starting 23rd through 25th, 26th, and 27th. All right, with that, we got all the business out of the way. Let's turn our attention up front to the 18 of AJ Hamill. 150 laps, that's a little farther than normal. They have the rules, they can come in and get tires if they want. We don't think they can go the distance on fuel, so I think they have to come in, but maybe somebody can stretch it. We'll find out. It should be a good one. Williamson way up the order. His biggest rival in the points, Eric Stout, struggling. We'll keep an eye on Teapot as he tries to work his way through the field. The pace car is in. They have to wait for the flag man. Gather up the chickens, take cover on the cows, because the horses are out of the barn. And a good run from AJ Hamill. He drifts a little bit high. Working on him is the number 1 of Williamson. Back behind, they are too wide. Rolling the top side is Hayden Austin. Watch out for Austin. He's new, and he was really quick in the opener.
Yeah, you need to watch a lot of these cars right now. Oh, and there's contact on the backstretch. I just saw for a moment there we are still under green, but I did see some cars go around off of turn 2. But these cars are moving around, especially through the center of the corner on these cold tires. So a lot of contact's being occurred right now.
It was our spotlighted driver, car number 54, Rex Oil, got loose, spins off. You see the blue car, spins off into the infield. The alfalfa there loops it around and then takes a tow back.
And we're looking up front here. So I've already seen, AJ qualified out front. He had a big wiggle on lap number 1, and him and Dalton actually made some contact while he was trying to get it gathered up. Dalton has got better pace at the moment, but this is one of those tracks where you can really control the race if you're the driver out front. Right now, that's what AJ is trying to do.
Then I believe the car that's fourth in line is indeed our spotlighted driver, Rex Hoyle. Look down there. He's got back out. He's a lap down. They do have the lucky dog, so he can get that back.
Yeah, and it's early in the race, Soup, so you are going to see a lot of these drivers that are single filing out. You do not want to get trapped on the outside lane here for many laps because you will lose position. And on top of that, you'll start to wear out your front tires. The car will push even further, and you won't be able to stay on the bottom if you're lucky enough to get back down there. So that's what these drivers are doing. They're single filing out. It looks like they're kind of riding around, and some of them are, but ultimately they're just trying to get into a rhythm here.
And did we get ourselves another caution? We did. Oh, this involves the 14 of Brian Bianchi. Tries to come down in the 89 of Bradley Steffen. Boy, there's two drivers with a lot of experience get together.
Yeah, and that's a tough one because you could see there that Stefan looked like he was just barely to the inside of Brian, but you never know for sure how that iRacing spotter is going to call that. So a lot of drivers are constantly listening to that spotter to hear car inside, car outside, and it looked like Brian was trying to take more of an arcing line where Stefan already had that inside line trying to dive in there, and contact is made, and that's a common short track deal there.
The car that got on the binders and had to wait, that was Bill Benedict, who had to sit there and wait till they cleared. Got a little bit of the front. Bill is back out there. Well, we thought this one was going to be a little tougher than we had at Iowa, and so far that's been the case.
Yeah, so the driver, I believe that's really going to help would be it is Mr. Rex Hoyle. So he's going to get his lap back here. So early troubles, he's actually going to get back on track early. So that's big to not be trapped a lap down for a long period of time because at some point you got to get out of the way of those drivers that are racing for position. So this gets him back on track.
Hoyle with a career win here in an S game modified. They start to double up. Takes a little longer with that lucky dog. I think we're going to go around one more time. Let's give us a chance to look at some big movers. Josh Buckley. Oh, the lights are off. Josh Buckley up 7 spots. All the laps so far led by A.J. Hamill. The front three look to be very fast. Hamill, Williamson, and Austin. We go green, working lap number 13. Austin pinned on the inside now. Let's see what the 40 can do on the top. That's Rob Higgins. Higgins looking for somewhere to put the car. They sort out the first 3. Stuck on the outside. That's Andy Lewis. Lewis always quick. Maybe not quick at the end, but always likes to race hard early.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you're one of those drivers that's on the outside right now, you are racing hard because you're trying to find a hole to get down into. We talked about how you do not want to be stuck out there for multiple laps. And right now, I think I just saw Brian Neff get to the inside of Ethan Troutman up front.
Yeah, Troutman was racing in 5th, gets loose, and now he gets tagged. He goes around. Andy Lewis, we talked about his aggressive drive style, got into the back of Troutman, and we got another caution.
Yeah, we'll get a look at the replay, but there was a lot happening here. Drivers were making moves to the inside. You still have those drivers on the outside trying desperately to get down, and I think some of that came into play there with Troutman trying to get back down in line, and there just ended up being not enough room. That's what we're going to see. As long as we have restarts occurring, you're going to see drivers try to get down. They're going to be more and more aggressive. Right there, he's clear going down the backstretch, but like you said, Soup, that driver trying to make that move dove in there to get that position.
And that's Papa Kenny Allen getting turned over there as he was laid in, then got a little tap, and he gets a roll. No fast repairs in Red Light Racing League. This is big boy racing. You break it and you bought it. quick look to see how Kenny Allen is doing. He got the car. Oh, he's in the pits right now. Several laps down.
Yeah, and Soup, I don't really want to bring this up to spoil the party, but Eric Stout, who had a bad qualifying run, is now up into fifth spot with everything that has happened earlier.
A lot of attrition in front of him. That's the risk of getting that back qualifying run. You're back in amongst it, but he was able to avoid the nonsense and now has worked his way up 9 positions. He is not our big mover, though, as Josh Buckley is up an even 10. Well, I think we got all of that out of their system. I think we're looking at a nice long run now. A.J. Hamels led them all. Brian Neff working to the outside of row 2 now. Watch out for him. He's going to try to get a good start. Try this one more time. Oh, the outside line gets a good jump. Can Williamson finish the deal out there? They come off momentum to the top. Seattle-its bathtubs down the back straight. Now the preferred line prevails. And A.J. Hamel gets that lead.
Oh yeah, Dalton Williamson there in second place made an aggressive move to get back down to the bottom. Hayden almost had his nose in there, but contact was avoided. Right now you've got to continue watching Brian Neff being stuck on the outside here. He's going to want to get down more and more as each lap goes by, and eventually you're going to see some contact just because of that urgency to get down on that inside line. You can see he's got the 6 car of Luke Logan Allen right behind him.
Allen tucks down in there. Eric Stout in the number 12 has worked his way up into 4th.
Yeah, and I can say, we talked about Eric struggling a little bit in practice and definitely in qualifying, but from the start of this race, I've been watching his car, and his car looks more stable than anybody else out there. In fact, he's making a pass for 3rd position right now, at least attempting to, on Hayden.
So Hayden Austin doing his very best to hold off Stout. Oh, a little bit of bump going on there. Neff using the, well, we like to call the Neff bar. Got into the back of Stout. Stout's able to keep going. Neff now under attack from Kid Lemon Lime. Luke Logan Allen. His papa was upside down earlier. He's going to avenge his dad's inversion as he races in 6th.
And one of the things, we haven't touched on it a whole lot yet, Super C. Neff getting a little sideways there. I think Luke Logan's going to be able to capitalize on it. But one of the things we have happen at a short track like this where everybody's running nose to tail, if you have contact with 2 cars up ahead of you, it is very difficult to not get checked up in time, and that creates a chain reaction that in return usually leads to the 4th or 5th car in line getting into some damage or getting wrecked or spun completely off the track. So this is something that is common here at Langley, and it does not always bring out a caution. It can be very costly.
I think I misidentified Josh Buckley as Eric Stout. It was Steve Buckley who was in the middle of all that chaos. Stout comfortably up in 3rd after getting around Hayden Austin. The action is in this lead pack a little farther back. Kid Lemon Lime, let's look at this, the number 6, looking inside of Buckley. Buckley says not right now. Spinning up in front. Is that Stout?
That's Eric Stout. Yeah, Stout went around in turn 2. Caution is out.
Oh, get out the towels. The teapot has been tipped.
Yeah, and I talked about it a little bit. You have to be very careful with these cars. The way this setup is, it handles very well. It rotates pretty aggressive through the center of the corner, and if you overdrive that entry just a little bit, that rear end will swap ends on you like we saw there with Eric Stout. So that's something we got to continue to watch. It's still early in this race. We could see a lot more of that.
Turn me over and pour me out. Well, plenty of time to go. Stout's quick enough to get back there. Not sure if we're able to do interviews. Director, are you able to pull any of these guys up? Can you get to Hayden Austin, car number 32 by any chance? Bring Hayden into the booth.
Hey.
Hey, Hayden, it's Soup up here in the booth. You're racing really good. How's the car feel? Better, more importantly, how's the track feeling?
And car feels good. It's a little loose, but it took some getting used to, but I'm getting there.
JR?
Yeah, Hayden, you had a great view of what just happened on track, and in fact, it's going to give you that inside line on that next restart. Can you tell those watching at home just how important it is to be on that inside line?
Yeah, that inside line is kind of crucial. Man, being stuck on the outside, you lose so many positions. It's nice being in third.
I know, JR, I'm sorry, Hayden, they're doubling up, but real quick, lots of cautions. Do you have a pit strategy?
Not really. No, just
All right.
following everyone else.
Okay, that's not a bad strategy. Good luck.
Thank you.
JR, I'm thinking with all the cautions, maybe these tires are gonna last a little longer. Am I pie in the sky thinking there?
No, I mean, you're absolutely correct. If we continue to get these, because these modifieds rely heavily on tire temperature, and right now they're not getting a whole lot of tire temperature in them, so they're not wearing them out.
All right, we'll try this one more time. Working lap number 36. Again, a great start from Williamson. He looks better than he did before. Gets good momentum off of 2. Can he close the door? He tries. He's forcing it close. Oh my gosh! That's Hamill. Get your foot in the door. Getting the worst of that now is Hamill as he falls way back, and I think that's going to bring out another caution.
Yeah, indeed, there was a lot of action happening there, and yeah, absolutely. So AJ, was still on that inside line going into the corner. Contact was made, which pushed him wide, and it looks like the accident that actually brought out the caution was something completely different. We see Neff there turned around. Oh, several cars, including Eric Stout, which is his reward for going to the back of the pack. There, you get caught up in things that you may not have had anything to do with.
Neff was loose or off the pace, and then Bill Benedek was surprised by it, got into him, turned it around, and Red Light Racing has a reputation for being very clean. This is a tough one. JR had a feeling about it. JR, before we talked to an interview, you mentioned that the car corner in the middle of the corner was a bit sensitive. Do you think that has anything to do with it?
It absolutely does, and it's it as a driver, you do not want to back off any. You want to drive the car hard. This setup, this car, this track, it's requiring these drivers to be a little bit easy in those opening laps until the tire temps come up. I believe the setup is excellent. Once you have that tire temp in it, these drivers just have to get it to that point. But absolutely, right through the center of the corner, this car gets really free, and it gives you a false sense of security. When you go into the corner, the car feels great. As soon as you put a little more wheel into it and try to apply that throttle, the rear end comes around quick like it's on ice. So these drivers, they've got to recognize that. And the point that I, touched on early in the broadcast was that when you're side by side with somebody, that's when it's going to be the worst, because that's when you're pushing the hardest trying to get that position. Right now, we're getting ready to see more of that as we're getting ready to go green. So I don't think we're done yet, Sue.
Our spotlighted driver, Rex Hoyle, in car number 54. Well, he went all the way to the back. He's back up into 15th spot. Keep an eye on him. The front 3 have been the guys to watch. Okay, iRacing did credit Williamson as the leader when the caution came out. Now he's got Buckley behind him. Hayden Austin sitting in 3rd. AJ Hamill, really, I think the caution might have helped him as he's back to 4th. Do we have another caution?
Got another caution out on the Speedway, Soup. I didn't see what it's for, but definitely have one more.
This one is Andy Lewis. Got turned around. And it's our spotlighted driver, Rex Hoyle.
Yeah, once again, this is one of those typical Langley things, excuse me. So you see how the drivers, they're trying to get single filed out. That's what their intentions are because you do not want to be stuck on that outside lane. Has the drivers from the outside have clearance, they come down to that inside lane, but the drivers behind are not anticipating that slight checkup because instead of having a big gap to the car in front, you've got a smaller gap. And it's the smallest checkups from the drivers ahead trying to get back in line that create that 5, 6 car lengths back. And that is what we saw there. It's just one of those typical Langley incidents. You've got to be prepared for it if you're further back in the pack.
And of course, Andy Lewis might be upset that he got turned, but if I look at my yellow notepad here where I try to keep notes, my chicken scratches looks like Andy Lewis was responsible for turning somebody earlier in the race. Let's put the onus here on the director. Can you dial up Rex Hoyle? Are you able to find Rex anywhere in there, director? Sometimes it's hard to call these drivers up as they're scattered through our Discord service and we can't find them. No, we do not see Rex. We'd like to let them know. Oh, here we go. We're going to see if we can bring him up. He's way down the order. We have to slide him in. And may not have time to do it as they're beginning to double up, so we'll get it next time. We'll work on those. Put Rex back where he belongs. Don't want to disturb him. Okay. Let's focus up top again. Williamson, Buckley, side by side. Driver that has my attention is the 32 of Hayden Austin. He's a newcomer and he is quick. The restart looks much cleaner this time. Austin now under attack from Hamill, who's pinned on the outside. After leading 34 laps, Hamill now struggling. Kid Lemon Lime down low. Luke Logan Allen in the 6th.
I was just about to say that, Soup. One of the drivers moving up is Luke Logan Allen, and we know from past experience in this league that he knows how to drive these cars that are, awkward or a little bit tough at times to drive. Tonight, drivers are struggling, but he's not.
My goodness, he made quick work of Hamilton who was outside, and while he was at it, he gets Austin as well. So move the 12-year-old up into 3rd spot. Side-by-side battle. Hamill continues to be pinned to the outside. This is Bradley Steffen underneath it. He gets the best of it. And now looking down in here is the 21. Haven't heard much of Jeff Aho. He has the championship to his credit. He lives Hamill a break, and they get going. Meanwhile, coming is the 89 of Steffen. He's up in another spot.
Yeah, we've got a lot of drivers mixed up now that we haven't seen. You touched on Jeff Aho. He was one of the drivers that spun in that initial incident. So he's coming through the field cleanly. And you look up front, Luke Logan Allen, he's going into 2nd place.
Could you hear the adolescent girls across the nation screaming as their favorite driver, Luke Logan Allen, picks one more spot? He is up 6 positions. Now sets his sight on Williamson. Boy, what a contrast in stories there. Williamson, the grizzly veteran with 4 championships. He'll have to fend off the youngster, the kid, Lemon Lime, Luke Logan Allen.
Yeah, and Soup, at this point, if I'm Luke Logan, I don't know if I'm going to push super hard to try to get up there to Dalton, because we've already seen, we've had cautions, we've had restarts, and that outside line can work from the front row. We saw Dalton be able to pull that off earlier, so Luke Logan just needs to be a little patient here. He might have that restart that makes the big difference.
Okay, if you like to cook, I got something brewing in the VGN kitchen. Let's go back to the car racing in 14th position. This is Kevin Alicia. He is under attack by Brian Neff. Neff has been working on him. He's backed off now, but Neff is faster and he wants to get there. Watching the show is Lewis Wildflowers. Let's see, here comes Neff one more time. We'll stay on this for one more lap, and then we'll go back and see up front. We'll give Neff one more chance They come out of 2. Watch it here. He's got about a car length back. Let's see how hard he drives. He's not going to get him, but we'll check back in on him later. Give a little shout out to the car racing in 14th. Car number, well, let me check myself here. It's car number 54. That's Rex Hoyle. Now, let me figure out how my timing and scoring works here. Car in 19th position, Jeff Lemire. Oh, and a spin right in front of him. And I know how to find it. That was, oh, one more time for Teapot.
I'll get a look at the replay here. I saw Eric, he kind of wiggled getting into the corner. Car got upset. So at that point, he's got to run from behind. I believe that's Andy Lewis to his inside. And yeah, when that inside car is trying to go for that, there's always going to be that level of contact that can occur. And it's just from that inside car slightly pushing up. It wasn't much there, but just enough that it made the contact, turned Eric Stout around.
Okay, now we'll try this one more time. Director, if you're able to go down and see if you can drag Rex Hoyle up and we can talk to him. This has been a rough one. Should have, there we go. Rex, it's Soup up here in the booth. Do you have a copy?
Yes, sir. I've got you.
Rex Hoyle, if I asked you this trivia question, which driver holds the record for the fastest SK modified lap here in a Red Light Racing League event? Do you know who it would be? It's you, man. It's
is it
you.
me?
It is you.
I thought it would be me or Dalton, one of the two.
All right, you are a spotlighted driver this race, so we've been watching you. Boy, you have had good times and bad times, but you seem to be making your way back up through. How's your race going?
Well, I was just talking to my teammate, Bianchi, and, one lap it's good, and the next lap it feels a little bit different. So I'm telling you what, I'm fighting this thing tonight.
Okay, we talked to Hayden Austin. He's a rookie. He had no clue of a pit strategy. Real quick before you go, do you know what you're going to do?
If I do get to pit, I'm going to probably put right sides on.
Do you pit for rubber, or do you have enough fuel to get to the end?
I don't know. I'm going to have to wait and see. They're saying I'm still going to need fuel.
All right.
If we have enough cautions, we'll see what happens.
We've had a lot of them. All right, good luck.
Yeah, man.
We ran him a little bit long. We're going to try to drop him back into the right spot. It's hard to do. These guys have a special channel where they can talk to their teammates, and we yank him out of that. All right, we go green, and boy, there is more internet connection for Williamson.
Oh, yeah, Luke Logan, he's pushing hard on the outside, a little too hard. He's going to push up, and that's going to allow Josh Buckley to get underneath him, but he's fighting back through 3 and 4.
We have not seen many drivers work the top side and make it work, and Luke Logan was able to do that. Buckley drops into third. How about the number 18 AJ Hamill back up there in fourth? Rounding out your top 10. He's been quiet. Jeff, having a, oh no! Hamill spins right in front of him. They make contact. Somehow they keep it clean. Hamill with a self-spin.
Yeah, definitely a lot of movement there, and it goes back to what we talked about. These cars are moving around on cold tires, and it's catching some of these drivers out. I think some of them are trying to be a little bit easy, but it's still catching some of them out. We were very lucky that we did not have a caution out of that.
New leader, car number 6, Kid Lemon Lime Luke Logan Allen leads his first lap of the season. And how about this? He got around a 4-time champion to get it done. Do you feel the torch being passed? This commentator does.
Yeah, and that was an impressive move that he did there, Soup. And the thing is that it's not like we're early in the race and he's killing his tires. I mean, we're halfway through this race almost, And he's been methodically coming through the field. And right now, he's showing what kind of pace he has. I think he's going to back it down a little bit because he knows he got to save it a little bit. But that was very impressive.
Let's drop back to the 18 of Hamill. We saw him struggling. He's in fourth. He's under attack by another champ, Jeff Aho. Aho has been very patient. Hamill, on the other hand, has been working really hard.
Yeah, a little bit of what we're seeing here. Like, we know Hamill has speed. He qualified on the pole tonight, had some issues on one of the restarts that moved him back. He's got the speed, but I think the problem is coming in with setting up that pass. Just with the way that this setup is and maybe AJ's driving style, they're just not allowing him to get that big run up off the corner to make the pass like some of these drivers are being able to do. So that's kind of why you're seeing this lane start to back up, starting with Josh Buckley. These drivers behind are a little bit faster. And we've got another caution that has come out on the Speedway.
And I can't find this one.
Yeah, looking on the replay here, so yeah, you had Hayden trying to make a pass on the inside of Visnaw, and yes, some contact was made there, and Visnaw is at least one lap down at this point. I'm trying to look through my screen here. Actually, he is not, so I stand corrected there. Visnaw is back in 15th spot, so that was a battle for position, Soup.
Little brother Patrick Stout making a pit stop. We just talked to Rex Hoyle and asked him what he was going to do. Well, he tried to come down pit lane. I don't know if he could find his box. He was kind of wandering around pit lane like a drunk sailor.
Well, that's a good point. Being at Langley, and we've got 27 cars, I believe, there's probably not enough pit boxes. So some of these drivers are probably actually having to share pit boxes, which does make it difficult to tell where yours is when you come down pit road at times. That may have been a little bit of what Rex was experiencing there, because he did qualify back in the field a little bit. So he's probably having to share a box.
Well, we'll tell you how that pit stop plays out and who's the leader of all the cars that stopped for rubber. Right now, I believe it is Bradley Steffen. Steffen is back in 16th position. Honestly, JR, fresh rubber, even though you tell me that the SK Modifieds don't use them up quite like the bigger cars do. 16th, not the worst place to be after that pit stop.
Definitely not. If you come out in 16th place, you've got enough time. We've seen it. Jeff Aho's come through the field. We saw Eric Stout come through the field once, getting ready to do it twice. So you can do it. But if I'm anywhere in those first two rows, I am going to stay out of my original rubber. We've just had way too many cautions.
Past the halfway mark. Okay, we go green. Working lap 80. Luke Logan Allen making that inside line work. Now stuck on the outside. They get around a car that was just coming out of pit lane. Did a good job of staying down low. This is Granny Hits. Josh Buckley. He's got Williamson to his outside. The preferred line has been the inside line. Williamson beginning to struggle out there. Now here comes Aho. He goes into third, and he's going to bring with us Chad Alcaraz. JR, look at the inside line prevail.
Absolutely, and this is what happens as we get into the race. We've talked about that outside line not being the preferred place to be in. Well, as we get more and more laps on the tires, more heat cycles, that outside line becomes less and less grippy. Oh, we got a big wreck up front involving our leader.
It did. They came up. It was the 25 of Ricardo Cano wandering around the track. And Luke Logan Allen gets right into him. So does, I think, Josh Buckley, or it might have been Aho.
Oh, yeah. So there was an incident that happened before the leaders got there, and it's one of my personal frustrations from the iRacing service is clearly that first one should have brought a caution out. I don't think that it did, and some cars were trying to get turned around on the track. and the leaders don't know it until you're there. So these cars, these SKs, they are hard to see out of to begin with the air intake that sticks out on the nose of the car, along with where your A pillars are located. It restricts your vision. When you come around, you do not see that car turning around until last second. So there was nothing that Luke Logan could do there, as well as those other drivers that were collected in it. But Soup, that's going to completely shake up our running order up front. That puts Jeff Aho in the lead.
Indeed, he got a piece of that. We're going to go on board with Kid Lemon Lime. This is going to be tough to watch.
Yeah, you can see how little he can see. There's just a small point right in front of him, and Luke actually saw more than I think I may have been able to see from inside the car. He actually moved his wheel because he saw some movement from the inside lane, but it still wasn't soon enough for him to be able to miss that. That is how tough it is to drive these cars when something's happening way out in front of you. You just cannot see it.
When I go to my Back Markers United meeting every month, we talk about what to do under caution. If your car's out there, you want to keep your foot on the brakes so you're stationary and they go around you. But JR, when you're stuck out there under green, I don't think it's unreasonable to try to say, I'm in a bad position. I'm going to try to get my car out of here. I mean, you got to feel for Cano there.
It is a bad situation, and I'll tell you, Soup, in a lot of cases, those drivers that are trying to turn around on track, they assume that the caution is out because, like I said, there's been an accident. There are cars that have spun. They think the caution's out, so they're turning around when, in fact, it is still green flag, and they have no idea that they have a fast car approaching. So it's a bad situation, and I don't have a good answer for it other than fixing it on the iRacing side.
We've seen it a few times at this event. Plus, a large field like this makes those lapped cars, when they spin, the lead cars get there a lot quicker than they would if we have like a field of 16 or 17. So, well, it's not our job to make the judgment on that. Smarter minds will prevail, and penalties and will be awarded and assessed, and hands will be slapped. But right now, let's turn our attention to former champion Jeff Aho out in front. If there's bad luck to be found, he'll find it. But right now, he's racing out in front. He did get a piece of Cano, so I don't know how healthy that car is right now, but it looks good.
Yeah, he's able to get that lead on the restart. So his job right now is to take care of that car and hold off that one car behind him. But what I've seen restart after restart is that Dalton is able to fire off quicker than some of these other drivers. Some of these drivers are struggling to get up to speed, but if Jeff can hold him off for 4 or 5 laps here, I think he'll be in good shape.
Honestly, Dalton got a little bit of a break with that accident because remember, he was stuck on the outside and being freight trained. And, oh, we got one more. My goodness. Let's see if we can find it.
Yeah, get a replay here. There's a lot of checkups that occurred there. We saw Rob Higgins trying to avoid what happened in front of him, Neff getting in the back of him, and then ultimately it created a situation where Troutman down in turn 1 goes around. So it's one of those checkup deals. You see right there, right from the top view, Rob Higgins was trying to check up for the 15. I think Neff's trying to get down. They made some side contact. That checked everybody up and created the situation down in turn 1 where some cars went around.
We will get to the checkered flag. I guarantee it. Director, can you find car number 71, Fred Leclerc? Are you able to dig him up? Some of these drivers are hard to find. Yes, we'd like to talk to Fred. We'll see if we can bring him into the booth. Fred, it's Soup up here in the booth. You got a copy?
I hear you loud and clear.
Your nickname is always there, Fred Leclerc, and you are there, baby, 3rd place.
Yeah, it's not going bad. I've been to the back of the pack a couple times. It's going good.
JR?
Hey, Fred, a lot's happened out there. I know you've not had a lot of green flag racing, but you do have the preferred inside line on this restart. What I want to know is, are you having to drive that car a little bit differently on the cold tires after a restart compared to after you get a few laps going? Does the car handle a little bit different early?
No, I think it's still handling the same as it's been for me. I like it. It's a decent setup. It's going good.
You got to feel better up in third. At least most of the nonsense will be behind you.
I hope so.
All right. Good luck. Go get him.
Thank you.
JR, one of the symptoms of simulator racing, I guess it's a feature, is the blinking bad internet connection. For me, Dalton Williamson is looks like a Christmas light. That must be frustrating when you're racing with him.
It is, and I've been in his situation too, so I've been on both sides of it. It's difficult. There's not a lot you can do about it. At some point, somebody makes a judgment call and decides whether you can stay or not, but it is an issue as we go green here.
Dalton was stuck on the outside at that one of the last restarts. He's out there again. Leclerc is going to get to the inside. Man, I'm telling you, this
they're
track,
going around soon.
Yep, and it might have been a blink that got him.
I don't know exactly what happened. I did see Neff involved in that, but I think there was a lot of checkups that were occurring as we went into turn 3 here. We see Neff up at the top on the outside. Yep, looks like there was a checkup, and Bradley Steffen was right behind him, nowhere to go. And that's what created this mess. But several drivers, including Rex Hoyle, who is one of our drivers to watch tonight, and Chad Alcaraz, involved in this.
It happened right behind Eric Stout. If you can look at the tower, boys and girls, you'll learn a valuable lesson. Stout's been having a horrible race. At least 2 spins that I can think of, and he's up in 6th.
Yeah, it's funny because we've seen it happen multiple times last season, Soup, where we thought that Eric was completely out of it and somehow comes through the field. Tonight, multiple times, and you know, at some point you got to throw out the thing about him being lucky. I think it's just that he's good. He's able to maneuver through every type of situation that he is put in, and even though he's had some struggles tonight with the car handling, he's been able to prevail and come back up in front.
Just to talk about some drivers, A.J. Hamill, who is very quick, in 9th position. We have 50 laps to go. Plenty of time for Hamill to get there. Big mover. Let's give some love to car number 27th and 5th, Kevin Alicia. Up, how many? 16 spots.
Yeah, and it's hard to explain the drivers. I know a lot of these guys, they're seasoned drivers when it comes to Langley, but it's hard to explain to some of the newer drivers just how a race here goes. You can be having the worst possible night. Somebody like Kevin Alicia was well back in the running order, around 21st early on, and now he is setting up there in 5th spot. So you have to be patient in this race. It's very difficult because you want to go. You want to get your nose in there as quickly as you can on the car in front of you, but if you just ease up and take your time, you'll find yourself up front eventually if you keep it clean.
Get ready to go green here, working lap number 101. To that point, JR, as a commentator, I pride myself in being able to tell the story of the race, see the guys who are coming, guys to watch as Aho gets the best of it. Are we under caution again?
One more. There was a lot happening up front on that restart. I was kind of watching. We were almost 3 wide with Fred Leclerc there for a moment. I don't think that had anything to do with what happened, but it was getting exciting up front. We look as they're going across the start-finish line, taking the green, and it's right there. I see Bill Benedict, and I don't see the car that he actually got into on the outside, the white car with the orange numbers, but Ethan Troutman and Rob Higgins kind of getting the worst of it there.
All right, I've told this story before, but with all these cautions, I'm just going to go ahead and do just take it for granted and do it one more time. Of course, we are at Langley. Am I correct? We are at Langley, and that is right across the street from the Langley Space Research Center, and they paved this track back in 1968. It was a dirt track, and when it was just being paved, a young a young bride was visiting her husband who had just got a job working at the Langley Research Center. And when she went over to meet him to bring him lunch to go to lunch, she got through security, stumbled in, and she walked into a room, and there were these astronauts, men dressed in astronaut suits, and cameras, and a fake moon landscape. And all of a sudden, she yells, "You're trying to fool the United States. You won't fall for it." And one of the men in the astronaut suit lifted the flag out of the imitation lunar surface and stabbed the lady in the heart to keep the secret. And they were panicked what to do with the body. And then the other man, who they were nicknamed, they called him Buzz. They said, you know, they're paving the racetrack. So they gathered up the young lady, took her across the street, and somewhere, we believe, under corner 3, but it could be somewhere, is the sad truth about the faking of the lunar landing, and the poor girl is buried out there somewhere. So usually I say we're going green. I have more stories to tell if we have more yellow. Aho out in front. Williamson losing that position. Here he comes. Always there, Fred Leclerc now up into second. Stout is in fourth.
Yeah, absolutely. Stout has moved into fourth place, so that puts your first and second place finishers from last week nose to tail on track, and Dalton is the one that is going backwards right now. Stout going forward. The driver I'm really watching up front, though, is Fred Leclerc, because he's run some unique lines. He's one of the few drivers I've seen put a lot of the car down on the apron through the corner, so he is trying different things just to set up a pass on our leader here.
You're right. He's way getting lower than anybody on the track, almost getting the right sides on the yellow line there. They come out working a lap. Now, what would it be? Number 110, 40 to go. Let's keep our attention up front, because I think the 70, oh my goodness, he is working on Jeff Aho.
He absolutely is. If we talk to him, he's comfortable with this setup. Some of the drivers have kind of struggled with it, but he is comfortable with how this setup feels consistent to him. That's allowing him to push harder and also run those different lines that we're seeing. And that's what it takes at a place like this that is hard to pass. You've got to do something different than those drivers around you, and he is the only driver I see doing that right now.
It's a good run off the corners. You have to wonder how much he heats up the tires trying that alternate line. He might have to wait a bit, try it one more time. Again, though, I have seen more drivers make mistakes on their own. And if Aho slips up just a little bit, Leclerc is right there. The front three beginning to pull away.
Yeah, they absolutely are. And this is when the pay window starts to open. So this is when you're going to find out who absolutely has speed and who doesn't. It also shows who's kind of been riding for a lot of this race. You see, Dalton, he's trying to get to the inside of Fred Leclerc there, but Fred's able to hold him off. And that's one of the things is Fred get a little bit wide there, but one of the things that Fred has to be careful with, he's running unique racing lines. That's what you got to do to pass, but you got to be careful if you got somebody right on your tail, because they can overcome what you're doing and do an over-under move on you and get to that inside.
Aho now opens up a small gap. We're looking back at Williamson. Peeking, prodding, looking for somewhere to go.
And you can see on the backstretch that slight contact with the wall. That's a common occurrence here at Langley. It is so easy to just barely graze that wall on the straightaways here, especially in these modified. Very difficult to tell where that right side of the car is.
Another thing to talk about is Leclerc is one of those drivers that came in and made a stop. His tires are only 60 laps old.
And that's a great point. And that's one of the things that, we only touched on it a little bit, but new tires, they don't necessarily make you faster, but they give you that maneuverability. And on a track where it's tough to pass or set up passes, that's what the new tires can give you. I think Dalton's going to be the inside of Fred going into turn 1 here.
He drifts up a little bit. Leclerc gives him lots of room. And now Williamson back into second position. 5 championships between the front 2 cars. Williamson now on the hunt.
Yeah, that's a little funny, Sue, because early in the race I felt like Dalton was the driver that fired off better than everybody and then kind of slowed down as we got into the run. Now he appears to be the driver that's coming on strong after we get several laps running, 10, 15 laps going here. So, yeah, this is not what Jeff Ahu wanted. He was hoping he was going to have some room, some space, and some clear sailing ahead, but now he's got to worry about Dalton behind him, who appears to have more forward drive, better grip up out of the corners.
I'm going to leave this for just a second and talk about the rookie of Hayden Austin. We thought he was quick, and I mentioned he's always quick early, but now he begins to fade. Moving back into 9th, and of course he's been out there on the same rubber the whole time as well.
Yeah, you know, last week you touched on it. He's a fast driver. This is a new series for him, and a lot of things that come with that is trying to learn the drivers that are around you and how to race those drivers. So as this season goes on, I expect Hayden to continue to get a little bit better and be one of those drivers up front toward the end. It's a lot of learning. It's a big learning curve, as you come into a new league. There's just so much to learn with those that are around you.
Gotta talk big picture because every point is important in the championship. Fred Alcaraz just got around Eric Stout. So Stout falls 1 spot farther back from the man he's racing in the points, Williamson. And of course, Williamson just moved up into second, so the gap becomes even bigger. And there are 3 bonus points for winning a race. This series that makes a big emphasis on the difference between first and second. Stout picked up 6 bonus points in the first race compared to only 2 from Williamson. There's a lot to be had if Williams get 1 more spot.
Yeah, and I like that new format that they are doing because, like you said, it puts the emphasis on winning a race, and I think it should because it is not easy, especially with the competition level we have here at Red Light Racing.
Couple drivers may be a factor. Bianchi is now in 4th, and he's got pretty fresh rubber. And he's bringing with him Alcaraz. We just saw Alcaraz go underneath Stout, so the 17 might be good. If a caution were to come, they could be a factor. Don't know they have much to get to the front. And speaking of the front, we really got to keep our attention up there. Good run from Williamson at that 2. Man, Aho making that car as wide as he can. Racing like a $3 bill right now. Hard to pass.
Yeah, and this is where if you're Dalton, you know, obviously you had a great start to the season last week coming home in 2nd place. You're going to have a good points finish if you just finished 2nd, but you want to go in, and he's trying to get his nose in there. He's just not enough of the way in there to try to make that approach without making the contact with Jeff Aho. Jeff Aho is running a great line right now, and that's what he's got to continue to do is focus on corner exits so Dalton cannot make moves like that.
Williamson's championships was before my time. I was still in elementary school, and as they come around, you know what to do. Get about winning, get the gear box spinning, rip the groove, make your move, put on your dancing shoes. I'll tell you, Dalton Williamson knows what time it is. It's time. And the new leader, Dalton Williamson, I was saying that his championships came while I was still in elementary school at St. Matthews in Long Beach. But right now, he's showing what he can do. Chad Alcaraz is right behind him. And I thought that maybe Bianchi might be a factor. The 14 is there now.
Yeah, And that was a pretty big shakeup. It all started with a bump and run up front, and that is something that these cars let you do. You have those Nerf bars, you have front and rear bumpers. Oh, super, we got a caution out on the speedway with less than 10 laps to go here.
This is going to shake it up now. We're going to have a sprint for the win.
Yeah, looking back at the replay. Yeah, sorry, Soup. Just looking back at the replay here, see Devin Bisnaw there, and on the inside of Ethan Troutman, it was the slightest of contact there. Troutman went in a little bit higher, Bisnaw trying to hug the bottom, and ultimately might have been a little net code, but that's just something that these cars have. That front nose, that front bumper sticks out just a little bit, and that rear bumper sticks out just a little bit from the rest of the body. Contact like that is pretty common.
Troutman now buried behind the leader. I guess he'll get the wave around, although he was involved in that. We'll see how that plays out. I'm pretty sure he'll get the wave around. The point I was trying to make about Williamson being his championships coming a long time ago, I heard some talk now. I'm going to admit this is all hearsay, don't know it firsthand, but there is a reputation for Williamson about suggesting racing lines when he's trying to make a move, that he is very good. He prides himself on the bump and run, which is part of short track racing. I know JR doesn't like it. Williamson's a fan of it, and you saw him working on the back of Aho.
Yeah, every driver's going to have a different opinion. You know, you go through the garage area, or every single driver that's in this race, and you're going to get a different opinion. So I've always been one of the drivers that kind of thinks if you can make a clean pass, you're making a bigger statement on what you're able to do on track. But the bump and run has always been something that's been around on the short track side, and these cars allow you to do it. They have the bumpers that line up that allow you to do it without wrecking that driver while you're making that contact, and that's what we saw here. So I fully expect that to be something that we see moving forward throughout this season.
And I almost wonder if Williamson felt more confident. I know, JR, you've talked about this too. It's that sometimes drivers with great reputations get raced harder. But I wonder if Williamson's felt a little more confident roughing up Aho than he would somebody of lesser quality. Well, we'll talk about that a little bit later. Right now, let's get it underway. We get rolling here with lap 145. Williamson on the inside. That is Leclerc trying to work the top.
A near contact going into 3 between Leclerc and Bianchi, but they keep it all together. Alcaraz comes out in 4th place, and Aho is back there trying to grab 5th.
3 different tire strategies. Williamson has been out there the whole race. Leclerc's been out there on those tires for about 85 laps and about 70 laps for Bianchi back there in 3rd. Lap number 147, they're going to click off fast. Let's hope we can finish this under green. With apologies to the rest of the field, we're going to keep the camera focused up front. He finished 2nd in the season opener. He's looking for the win right now. 4 championships to his name. We're talking about Dalton Williamson. He comes across now, 2 to go. It doesn't look like Leclerc has anything for him. Leclerc gets very loose, losing ground. He'll fall back into the clutches on the 14. The 17 is there as well as Alcaraz. Meanwhile, the white flag is out. Williamson beginning to fall back into the clutches of Leclerc. Leclerc running out of time, running out of real estate. Round number 2 at Langley goes to 4-time champion Dalton Williams. Fred Leclerc gets 2nd. Brian Bianchi, a great run, 10th to 3rd. And we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about the driver in 4th, Chad Alcaraz, 22nd to 4th. I scroll down. Where's your point leader, Eric Stout? 7th. Woo! The racing's over. The broadcast is not. We'll take a short break. We'll come back, run down the entire finishing order, talk to some of the drivers before we put a lock on the gate. You're watching your favorite choice for sim race broadcasting, the Virtual Grip Network. From just across the street where the Apollo 11 lunar landing was filmed and then distributed to the public in a foolish attempt to, well, you know the story. With that said, we are at Langley Speedway and Virtual Grip's second round coverage of the Skitter Creek Modified Series Season 15, all brought to you by Red Light Racing League. The results are in. Let's give them to you now. Well, he started outside of row one. He raced up front, got pushed back a little bit, did not make a pit stop. He has 4 championships, looking for a fifth. We're talking about Dalton Williamson. Fred, always there, Leclerc, started in the Baker's dozen position, worked up, and had a chance for the win, was not able to get it. He did lead a lap as he finishes in second, and then Brian Bianchi started in 10th, came in the last chance for tires and ran all the way up into third. He's got to be happy with that. Rounding out your top 5, Chad Alcaraz and Jeff Aho. Back half of your top 10, pole sitter A.J. Hamill. Points leader coming into Langley, Eric Stout. Then you got Bradley Steffen in 8th, 9th, and 10th goes to Kevin Alicia. And Papa Kenny Allen at one time was upside down. He gets himself a top 10.
Yeah, coming home in 11th place tonight, we got Lewis Flowers. 12th place, that driver we talked about in the spotlight, Rex Hoyle. 13th place tonight will be Brian Neff. 14th will be Hayden Austin. Devin Visnaw, he'll come home in 15th. Rob Higgins having some trouble tonight, comes home in 16th place. Chris Hazlip is going to be your last car on the lead lap tonight in 17th place. Ethan Troutman, first car lap down in 18th. Jeff Lemire, 19th place. And Joshua Buckley, 13 laps down in 20th.
Oh, so close for Bill Eggs Benedict as he is only 41 laps behind the leader in the blackjack spot. Chris may have some more Sir Oliver after that. Andy Lewis, well, he got some screen time. Don't know if he made a lot of friends. He'll go in 23rd. He led laps until he came around corner 4 and ran into a car that was parked out there. We're talking about Luke Logan Allen. Oh, that's a lesson for the young man to learn. Ricardo Cano was the driver he met. He's in 25th position. Patrick Stout and double deuce Bruce Pearson. I don't think Bruce actually took the grid. So 26 drivers to the grid. With that said, we get to talk to our race winner. We're going to talk to Dalton Williamson right now. Let me see when we have him in here. I'll wait to get the official news that Dalton is with us. Dalton, it's Soup up here in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
All the way on one set of tires, all the way on one tank of fuel. I guess all those cautions made that possible.
Yeah, I was hoping for a green flag run, but I was hoping not to be out front for the first 60 or 70 because I learned really quick when I got around AJ that the car freezes up really quick in clean air, and it's really hard to save tires when it slides everywhere.
Okay, wait. I have to help me out on this because I understood right. You're saying that it's easier to save rubber behind a car?
As messed up as it is to say, yeah, tonight, yeah, it was easier behind the car.
You learn something every week. Okay, let's talk about the pass there on Jeff Aho. You were behind him, you were letting him know you were there, and then you got inside.
Yeah, I was trying to do it as clean as possible. I was trying to keep the tires cool, and because I don't even know if they took rights, lefts. I don't even know if they took tires. We were just discussing that. I don't even remember what they said, but I was trying to keep them cool because I know at least the first 10, 15 laps in these, even if you have new tires, the old tires are still pretty level till you get a lot of laps on them. So I was just trying to stay right there with them and try to get around them clean.
Okay, well, congratulations. The second last week, a win today, 4 championships, and a good storyline between you and Eric Stout, who struggled today. Congratulations. We'll keep watching.
Thank you. Appreciate the family for watching, and Platinum RV Services, Premier Setup Shop, and everybody else that helps me out on the side of it.
All right, well done. We'll see you down the road. Dalton Williamson, your race winner. Partner, who you got?
All right, I'm with Fred Leclerc. Hey, Fred, congratulations on that second place run. We talked to you during this race. You were very comfortable with that setup. want you to walk me through some of the things you were doing at the end of that race. I was impressed. You were the only driver I saw really moving around trying to get on the apron. What exactly were you trying to do? Tell the viewers.
I was just trying to set them up any way I could. If no one was behind me, I was trying the outside, then diming it in or out, trying to get it so I can get a pass for the lead or second.
It looked like it was going to work for you. Again, I don't see many drivers do that. So moving around is exactly what you got to do to try to do something different than the leader. I have to ask, as you were coming down toward the end of that race, did you want one more caution to have one more restart to possibly get him there?
Uh, yes and no. I was nervous on the outside. I thought I could get ahead of him, but it's such an inside dominant track. I didn't want to lose more. I was content to finish second, be happy, go on to the next one.
All right, man. I'll get you out of here on this one. So you had a fifth place to open up the season last week. You have a second place tonight. We go to South Boston next week. What are your thoughts going there?
Try the same thing, come out of there with a top 5, at least finish the race. That's all. If I can finish all the races this season, I'll be happy.
I think the night proved if you can finish the race with a clean car, you'll be in good shape. So keep that up. Good job tonight, Fred.
Sounds good. Thank you.
I'll tell you, Fred Leclerc is fun to watch, fun to interview. He's always there, and I'm not joking. Fifth and a second. Don't be surprised if he top fives again next week. Let's talk to Brian Bianchi. Brian, it's soup. At the end of the race, the front three were pulling away, and I made a note. I said, Bianchi's got some fresh rubber. He could be a factor, and you ran him down.
I think I was going to get him, at least Fred, if we didn't have that caution. On the caution, everybody's tires got to cool off, and I got really tight there when Fred was on my outside, and it hadn't happened to me all night. So that's how he got back down in front of me. But good run after a bunch of incidents and getting hung on the outside a few times, but ended up being a good run.
I try to keep track of stuff. I have a yellow legal pad. I write down guys who are in the incidents and stuff. And after a while, I chucked it across the room because it became pointless. Were you involved in anything?
I think everybody was, except for maybe Dalton. You just couldn't help it, guys. I was on somebody's hood at one point, so he had to back up for me to go, and I still ended up third. Not a bad run. I said to my teammate, "I'm surprised this thing still runs."
Papa Kenny Allen was actually upside down, and he got himself a top 10. So, yeah, it was a fun race. Well, hopefully next week, we're only going 100 laps. It'll be a little cleaner. Nice run. It's great to see you back and racing hard. Well done, buddy.
Thanks, guys. It was a good recovery. Hopefully I talk to you next week.
Brian Bianchi, our third place finisher today. All right, that's going to do it for us. We just have the little details here, some housekeeping. Look at that graphic. My goodness, there's 2 columns. It's too much to put on one side. All the broadcasts here on VGN, I've been told that the viewers are literate, so you pick the one you want to watch. My favorite one is going to be 5 Down when we have a road course here on VGN. We're going to Road America with Dolores. You don't want to miss that. But this race will be back next week. It'll be fun. Well, it'll be fun too. With that said, all those broadcasts, future and past ones, are all a production of the Virtual Grip Racing Network. On behalf of all the little faces you see there, mine is the upper left. There's JR, third row on the left-hand side. And then, of course, the boss man, Lowell Jewell, front row outside. There's no grip up there, boss man. Until next time, have fun storming the castle.